Ready?
Okay, here we are with our next pre-teach video, and this time we're going to be looking at division, and we're going to be dividing a 4-digit number by a single digit. We're going to be moving on to look at that in maths next week. So, when we're doing short division, we're going to get the place value counters and all of that out in class, but I'm just going to show you how to do it as a short division method here today. So, to lay that out, we call this a bus stop method, and it looks like that. And you put the number that you are dividing here. So we're dividing into groups of 8, and the number you're dividing into goes inside. So we're dividing into 6,893. So the first thing I would say is to always estimate first. So round your numbers up to the nearest 10, 100, 1,000, depending on where your number is, and just think roughly what your answer should be. So if I round this 8 up to 10, and I round 6,893 to the nearest 1,000, which would be 7,000, then I could think of my calculation, if I write it right over here, as 7,000 divided by 10. And of course we're all really good at dividing by 10, so I'll know that that's roughly, that answer is 700. So my answer here should roughly be around 700. Let's just think about what this calculation here means before we get going with it. What I'm asking myself here is, how many groups, I've got it written up here, this is what we've got to try and remember to say each time, how many groups of 8 can I make with 6,893? So I'm basically, division is sharing this 6,893 into groups of 8. If you think of it like that, it makes it a lot easier. So here we go, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to ask myself is, how many groups of 8 can I make with this 6? And I know that this 6 is 6,000. If I showed that 6, I'm not going to do it all the way through, but I'll show it for this first digit. If I showed that 6 in place value counters, just put them underneath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many groups of 8 can I make with my 6,000s? Well, I can't make any because I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 8 to make at least one group. Okay, so I can't make any. The other thing I'm going to say for you to do always is write your list, just like we did with multiplication. Write your list, your groups of 8 down the side to help you. So if I think, what do I need to make one group of 8? Well, my first group of 8 is 8. I need 8. I've only got 6, I can't make any. Okay, so I am going to put a 0 up here because I can't make any groups of 8 with 6,000. I'm going to take that 6,000 and I'm going to exchange my 6,000 into 60 hundreds, because 60 hundreds is exactly the same as 6,000. So I've exchanged it, and I'm going to put it now in my hundreds column beside the 8. I've now got 68 hundreds. So now my question is, how many groups of 8 can I make with 68 hundreds? So I'm going to carry on my groups of 8. I've got one group of 8 is 8, two groups of 8 is 16, three groups of 8 is 24, four groups of 8 is 32, 5 groups of 8 is 40, 6 groups of 8 is 48, 7 groups of 8 is 56, 8 groups of 8 is 64, and 9 groups of 8 is 72. I had 68, I've gone past that now, I've got to 72. So how many groups of 8 can I make with 68? That's all I've got. Well, I can only go to here, because that's too many. I haven't got 72, I've only got 68. So I can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups of 8. I'm going to put that 8 up the top. Up on the top, there it goes. And I needed 64 to get me 8 groups of 8. I had 68 here. That means I've got 4 left over. Okay? Because I've got 64 to get me 8 groups. I had 68 in total. That leaves me with 4. Okay, I'll do that as a subtraction down here. 68, subtract the 64 that got me 8 groups. 8 subtract 4 is 4, 6 subtract 6 is 0. So I've got 4 left. That 4 I then carry over to the next place value. So I've got 4 hundreds left. If I cross this out now, because this is my hundreds column, remember. I've got 4 hundreds left. I'm going to exchange those 400s into 40 tens. So now that 4 moves into the tens column, I've now got 49 tens. So I ask myself the same question again. How many groups of 8 can I make now with 49 tens? I've already done my list of 8, so I just need to look at it now. I've got to get all the way until I get to 49. I can't go over 49 because all I've got is 49. Let's see how many groups I can make. So 1 group will be 8, 2 groups 16, 3 groups of 8 24, 4 groups of 8 32, 5 groups of 8 40, 6 groups of 8 48, and the next group of 8 gets me to 56. That's too many. I've only got 49, so I can go to 48. How many groups is that? Let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 8. So again, I can write that on the top. 6 groups of 8 got me to 48. I had 49, which means I've got 1 left over. Okay, so I could do my subtraction if I needed to, but that's quite easy for me. 49 subtract 48 leaves me with 1. So I'm going to cross that out, and that 110 I'm going to exchange into 10 ones and move it into my ones column. So now I've got 13 ones. And the question again is, how many groups of 8 can I make with my 13 ones? So I need to look at my list again. 1 group of 8 is 8. 2 groups of 8 is 16, that's too many. So I can just make 1 group of 8. That 1 goes on the top. Okay, that's the end of my calculation. However, I only used up 8 and I had 13. So I'm going to have some left over. So if I do 13, take away 8, I am left, of course, with 5. And that 5, the moment, we're going to put as a remainder. That's what's left over. So it's 861, remainder 5. We're going to talk about remainders when we get a bit more confident and a bit more comfortable with dividing 4-digit numbers by a single digit. And that's it when we're doing short division. We just got to make sure we always ask ourselves that question every time we're going through, doing it step by step, using our list down the side of the page. It's really, really helpful, because once you've done it for the first part, you may not need to do any more, because you already have created your list. So you'll just be able to look at that. Sometimes you might need to do a few more, depending on what the digit is, but most times you will just be able to look at your list to help you out. So hopefully that's useful. Some reminders here. Remember to always estimate what your answer should roughly be. So we estimated around 700, and it was 861. So it's a little bit out. Hopefully your estimates will usually be a little bit closer, but you can see that it's roughly not far off where our actual answer was. Think of a word problem to put into context. We haven't done that yet. You could say, we stick with our pond theme for multiplication, we might have 6,893 litres of water in a fish pond, and you then had to clean the fish pond out, or the fish tank out, and so you transferred it into 8 separate containers. How much water was in each container? That could be a simple word problem for that division. And also, ask yourself the question that I've asked myself all the way through that word problem, because calculation, because it will really help you think about it in terms of groups. How many groups of can I make with? If you keep asking yourself that question, you can't go wrong. Right, one to try over the weekend, so you've had a chance to practice it before we come into class on Monday. So let's go for 3,728 divided by 4. So have a go at that over the weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you.